The rain was a constant thing in Chicago 2035. Not a clean, honest rain, but a weeping of the sky, a perpetual sorrow washing over the glass towers and the slick, black avenues. It was a city built on fear, a monument to the small, brittle piece of the established, the ones who had drawn a sharp, cruel line in the concrete and called it ours. The air tasted of ozone and old metal, and the silence, that heavy, self-imposed silence, was the loudest sound of all. It was the sound of a world holding its breath, terrified of the slightest foreign whisper. We lived in a box of quiet light, a sanctuary against the wet, dark chaos outside. The woman, my wife, moved with the precision of a clockwork doll, her life measured in the sterile rhythm of our apartment. She was the perfect citizen of this new, clean Chicago, a city that had scrubbed away the vibrant, the different, the other. She believed in the silence. She believed in the walls. She believed that if you kept your head down, the rain would never touch you. But the silence was a lie. It was a thin sheet of ice over a deep, dark river. And sometimes, late at night, I could hear the sound of the river breaking. It was the sound of them, the ones from the south, the ones from the east, the ones who carried the scent of foreign soil and the rhythm of a different drum. They were the ghosts in the machine, the unsettling echo in our perfect, empty halls. The woman called them the problem. I called them the truth. They burned the books first. Not the paper, not the ink, but the ideas. The foreign tongues, the histories that didn't fit the new narrative, the poetry of the exiled. The fire was a hungry, beautiful beast, the only honest thing in the city. And the Beatles, those cold, silent drones, watched from above, their lights like the sterile, unblinking eyes of a god who had forgotten how to weep. The robotic dogs, Metal and Malice, stood guard, their guns a promise of final silence. I saw her then, not the woman, my wife, but a woman, a shadow moving with a frantic, desperate grace through the alleyways. She wore the colors of the outside, the fabrics of the forgotten, and in her eyes a wild, beautiful terror. She was running from the dogs, from the drones, from the silence. She was the living, breathing proof that the walls were failing. She was a mirror, reflecting the part of me I had buried beneath the fear, the part that remembered the taste of freedom, the sound of a voice that wasn't a whisper. She was the alien, the intruder, the one who carried the thread of life into our carefully constructed death. And in that moment, watching her run, I understood the fear of the established. It wasn't hatred. It was the terror of being reminded that their perfect, empty world was built on a lie. The dogs barked, a mechanical, soulless sound. The drones dipped low, their lights searching. And then she was gone, swallowed by the shadows, by the rain, by the city that refused to see her. I stood there, the rain washing over my face, and the silence returned. But it was a different silence now. It was the silence of a choice made, a path not taken. I returned to the box of quiet light. The woman looked up, her eyes empty of the terror I had just witnessed. "Did you hear anything, dear?" she asked, her voice a soft, sterile chime. I looked at her, at the perfect citizen, and I saw the true horror of Chicago 2035. It wasn't the fire or the dogs or the drones. It was the willing blindness. No, I lied. Nothing at all. But in my pocket, the damp paper was a promise. A seed of rebellion, a whisper of a different story. The rain continued, a constant, melancholic drumbeat. And in the heart of the silence, a new sound began to grow. The quiet, unyielding sound of a man who had finally chosen to listen. The silence had fallen, yes, but the words, the beautiful, dangerous words, were waiting for the next storm.